Hello friends, welcome back to the bench. Now in our last session we left off in a pretty good spot, meaning we had a responses to the tickets from the admin and from the client. We have some cosmetic work to do, some front-end stuff, ability to update statuses and all that stuff. But before we get to that, we need to fix a little bit of tech debt that we created. Meaning we neglected the unit tests, and what we're gonna do is build a pipeline, meaning the continuous integration workflow, GitHub workflow. So what we wanna have is whenever you submit a pull request to master, we want the tests to run. We don't want them to run on any pull request, only the pull requests that are going to master. And the main reason behind that is just, it's expensive. Maybe not expensive, but it's not free. So first, we have two tests that were ignored. Validation default over here. Is this added to the repo? It is. So let's quickly fix the tests that are failing or not existing. So in this case, to satisfy this one, so the table tests should validate a lot of stuff, like test the validation, test that we can add an entity to the persistence, that we can perhaps remove it, some custom method on the table perhaps. But for now, all I need is just to assert true on the existence of the table. So for now, we just want to make sure that we have the table called BHR ticket responses in this case, right? And no more skip tests. Okay, I guess that was the only one. Okay, but we have added a lot of stuff to our controllers. So let's review all that. Let's go to our controllers, and we added tickets controller for the admin, and we can reply to the ticket, and we can submit the ticket over here. No, this is ticket. That's what shows the customer the ticket. Submit ticket. Right? I don't think we are testing this. So let's review. So let's write a test that will add the ticket. So this will be relatively long test. This is not the best approach to make the tests long. Tests should be typically, they should be short, and they should fail for just one reason. Meaning, if that test fails, then there's only one reason why it fails, or it immediately tells you what is wrong. If the test is, test the entire route of submitting ticket, updating, replying, and all that, then if that test fails, you don't know which part of that test failed. I mean, it also depends on how you write your messages for the assertions. So if the assertion failed, the message should tell you something that is relatively meaningful. If you only have the, true was expected but false was found, that doesn't really tell you much. But if it tells you that, ticket submission failed for some reason, we expected 200 to be the response, or 202, and we're getting 500 or 400 or something like that, well, that's at least better. But remember that we have to juggle the results and the stability and maintainability of the system. So we're going to take some shortcuts here and there, cut some corners here and there, but not too much. But important to keep that in mind. So we have admin controller test, which has just tests the dashboard. So we definitely want to test, what was it? My tickets page works, right? So here we're confirming two things. Actually, we're going to add another test. So public function test my tickets only accessible to admin, right? So we want to test that the page works, and for it to work, I need to refresh my memory. Hang on. How do you mock the authentication? Did I not? Right, because this one, so the dashboard returns 302 because the user is not authenticated, and it should be, and we assert that we are redirected to login, right? So that's great. Authentication component. Why am I in version? Oh, right, because I'm in the cookbook. Never mind. Hang on. This is book. Oh, yeah, authentication 2.0. Perfect. Testing with authentication, and we need integration trait, of course. So this is how we mock the user. So auth. Oh, so auth from session. Okay. So this is like a method login, right? Token-based authentication. Not much here. But this is recommended, or as far as I can see, this is recommended method of setting the authentication. It does, well, let's try it. So we're gonna do this session user is user, and our user, let's go to BHR users fixture. Password, we need to add name because we added that in migration, right? And for that to work, we need to add BHR users fixture, so we can actually fetch it. So let's do user this fetch table BHR users and get the user with identifier 1. Okay, and that sets our user, and now we can do get. Yes, because we get on the tickets, and we need router URL. Our name was admin.tickets, was it? That's one of the reasons we use named routes. Admin my tickets. My tickets. That's the name, and there's no parameters that we require. Yeah, that's good. So this assert response okay, and the message will be my tickets page is not working. Right, and now I don't remember how, because this will not work unless you do get, and I don't remember how I solved that, because I remember I did solve that, and I think I need to add a trait. Let's review it. Pages controller. No. Maybe it was no, but integration trait was always added. Because remember, I was doing get on anything just to load the routes, because that was the issue, right? The first call to the router and route would not work. Well, let's just test it. So let's run just this one. It failed because the route matching admin tickets could not be found. And if I do this get like this, this should work, or at least it should find the route. Yeah, and I don't remember, because I remember I did find the reason for that, and I thought it was because one of the traits was not being used, some kind of initialization, right? And it initializes when we do the first request, and especially since we're not using the route, we're using the literal route, right? Not named routes, or not even using router. So it forces the load and the loading of the routes. But I do remember I solved that, and now for the life of me I cannot remember how. But I do remember it was solved. Was it in some before? Oh, looks like I already made some private method over here to load our user to mimic the session, but I will have to look into that. Why did it work before? Or, well, not why did it work. I remember exactly that I found that, but I can't for the life of me remember how. Well, in that case, for now, I'm just gonna leave it here, and it's fine. So, okay. So this is our admin. We could create an abstraction and put that user authentication in the abstraction. We could just repeat this code over and over in each test. This is admin controller. We will have more admin controllers, but hang on, but this one, oh, this one was already testing my tickets, right? And admin controller is not, admin controller is not in the prefix of admin. So let's do this. Let's remove this test from here and put it over here. And this get name admin my tickets, right? And we want control is response code 302. And the redirection must contain login, right? So here we just want to confirm that it didn't happen what happened before, that one of the controllers was not actually being protected. And the reason for that is that that decision that I made, that it's not implicit. Authentication will not be implicit, it'll be explicit. So only the routes that I have marked as protected routes, or actually the controllers that I deemed as protected, will have authentication. So now, since we have that, let's do, so this is tickets controller test in admin, and we have admin controller, and we should have a tickets controller which is non-admin. And let's review over here. We are submitting ticket, right? Let's see. Required description false. What is this? With no description. Yes, tickets do submit and are, so we submitted the ticket here. Here the submission, good. So now let's respond to the ticket. So this test response to the ticket by customer. So we don't require a session. All we need is an existing ticket. So let's close everything else and BHR tickets fixture. We have one ticket by ID, whatever. So let's fetch that ticket here. Fetch table BHR tickets and get first, or get by ID 1. And now from that ticket, let's annotate it here that it's BHR ticket entity. And we want ticket ID, so that's our tracking ID. Ticket ID. Now this ticket ID is required so we can submit a response. For now, we don't really have much protection around that, and that will be on our list. Let's put it at the end. Protect ticket page, restrict for user for author only, right? This will be very important, so that's why I don't want to forget about it, especially before first release. So we have our ticket ID, and now our routes, we want to do reply. This is admin. Now we want to reply on the non-admin. Ticket ID, ticket show, ticket success, do submit. What is the route for? This is the route, right? Tickets, ticket. So let's go to tickets controller, non-admin. This one. Oh, but not test. Tickets controller, this one, and yeah, this is ticket, and the response is submitted to this endpoint. So This was called tickets show. So ticket ID is our ticket ID. Yes, is it the only one? Yeah, ticket show with this. Okay, so that's our route, but here we want to post to that. So first, fetch table bhr ticket responses, right? So that's responses table. We're gonna need it because now let's assume that we do have a we have ticket responses loaded, so we can even do that. Bhr ticket responses, which means that we might have some responses attached to that ticket. So now we want to submit the response and just confirm that we have one more response on that ticket. So current responses will be responses table, and let's do find where ticket ID is our ticket ID, right? And we want all and count. So this is our current responses. So now when we submit response, so we'll do this post route, and what was the definition of that? So we have message, nothing more than message. I mean, we have message and optional response ID. So we can submit the response to the ticket already, or response to the response. But that's kind of a fringe case feature, so we don't have to test it here, or at least not at the moment. So message will be ABC. We want to assert response. Response should be okay, not redirect, because we're posting to the same endpoint. Ticket response action is not working, in case we didn't get 200. And responses will be pretty much the same thing as this, right? We're getting count again, and we just want to assert true that current responses plus 1 equals responses. Ticket response has not been stored, in case it doesn't work. So this will ensure that our response endpoint is working correctly, and at the moment it is not, because we don't have the route. I'm gonna have to find that reason again, because oh my god, I can't believe I don't remember that. Actually, I can probably review my code, review my footage, and maybe that'll work. Ticket response action is not working because we have a cross-site request forgery protection. This enables CSRF token again, and now we're working. So that ensures that we have a working responses. Now the admin response. So this was in regular ticket controller test, and in admin ticket controller test we want to do the same thing. Test admin can respond to ticket. So our first, let's start with the route. That's admin, and what was it? Admin slash ticket slash reply, admin tickets reply, tickets reply, and our ticket ID will be our ticket ID. We don't have a ticket ID, so let's make sure we're loading tickets, BHR tickets. Let's load BHR ticket responses. Oops. Just so we have it for future. So our ticket will be fetch table BHR tickets, and we're gonna get the ID number 1 annotated BHR ticket entity. Our ticket ID will be ticket ID. That's our route, and again we're going to be posting, but here we need to be an admin, and we need a CSRF token, and this admin. Okay, this admin. So at least in this controller we do have it, but we do have to move it to abstraction because this will be needed. But I'll either move it to the abstraction, meaning the abstract class, or I will move it to the trait, and I'll just load the uses admin trait or something like that. But that's for later us. So we want to post to our route the data we're posting. Message is ABC. Oh, hang on, I forgot one thing over here. So we asserted this, but now let's confirm that the ticket has the title, right? We don't have, well, because we don't have the ID reference over here, so we don't know which response to fetch. So we can solve it in a few ways. Iterate over all tickets and just make sure at least one has ABC as the message. Or we fetch the one with the youngest ID, meaning the highest ID, and that will be the last entered ticket, right? We could do something around actually we could because now when we post to this endpoint, we are still receiving a response body, and within the response body there's going to be that ticket. But I just realized that we need to cut some corners. So yeah, if it returned 200, it's fine. We consider it working. So assert response. The response here will not be okay. The response will be 302 because we are redirecting back to the ticket. So we can assert response, not response, redirect contains the ticket ID. Right, so our response, our location, redirection location must include that ticket number. Was this message? I think it was. We have failed because we can't find the route. Yeah, I feel so dumb not remembering how to solve that, how I solved that. But I will, because I remember that I did find it, how to solve this by stepping through the code. So I'm just gonna step through the code again and find it again. Well, not, you're not gonna remember everything every time, That's kind of a, you do remember stuff that you do on the daily basis, but then, a few weeks, few months of not doing it, then, you kind of remember roughly how to do it, but you don't remember those nuances here. So we have got 302, but we need to again do the same stuff we did here. So current responses for this ticket before we submit. Oh, and we need responses table. Bit of a copy pasta, but well, that's how sausage is done sometimes. And new responses. So responses now is here. So again, current responses plus 1 equals responses. Admin response has not been saved. We know it is because we tested it manually. So, right now what we're doing is just locking the system in the working state. Which means once we start changing stuff, updating and stuff like that, we're gonna have to update tests as well. So that's very important for the tests to actually work correctly. Or, well, to work correctly. Of course, they're working correctly, but they need to be as maintainable as your production code. Otherwise, you're gonna have issues. Okay, so what else did we add? Responses, my tickets. So we tested the ticket ID, or we added the, where was it? This is admin, this is non-admin. Yes, so we did ticket show, we tested post, but we didn't test the get, right? Or did we? Oh, we did. Response, okay. Okay. All right, so this should do it. Now let's review. We didn't test the login or anything, did we? Because login is open, because it has to be. my tickets, ticket ID, and ticket reply. Admin ticket, yeah, we didn't test this one. Controller tickets, admin, controller tickets. So we tested my tickets, admin, blah blah. Test ticket can be displayed for admin. Load routes, not to forget this time. We don't need token, but we need to be an admin. Our route is this, no, not this, router URL name is admin.ticket, and ticket ID is ticket ID. Ticket ID, because we're not gonna need anything else there, right? Nah. We'll do this. Fetch table BHR tickets, get one, and ticket ID in there. So we got our route. So now we just need to do this get our route, assert response is okay. Ticket management for admin is not working, right? Just so we can have something readable in case it fails, and it's fine. Okay, so this kind of catches us up with the functionality that we added, and the test should be written alongside of the production code. But what I did is, I just worked on it in the previous session, just adding it and testing it manually, and that's not the best. That's not the best approach, because normally, yeah, you want the tests to pass first, and then you do some manual testing. And truth be told, you shouldn't actually have to do any manual testing. If you have comprehensive unit testing, you can leave. You can assume that it's working. Meaning that you shouldn't have to. That doesn't mean that you shouldn't do manual testing, right? So let's do CI. We already have some here and something here. This was added with the framework. What do we do here? Yeah, up local and stuff. Composer install. Then code sniffer and so on. Yeah, we do wanna keep the sniffer. So first of all, branches, it's gotta be only on master. Oh, right, because this is the CI from the framework. Let's call it CI. Yeah, it doesn't really matter what it's called. Workflow dispatch. Let's do this. On pull request branches master. Actually, we can just do it this way. That should work. We don't need this. We don't need this. Jobs, test suite. Okay. Fail fast, false, matrix. So, you know what? Let's just do this. Let's call it run unit tests. Ubuntu 2204, that's fine. Let's do this. Steps. Name will be unit tests on Ubuntu 22 and PHP 7.4. Not like that. Not like that. I hate XML or YML. Let's remove all this. So this is our first step. Oh, hang on. First step, that is because it's running, and so this is unit tests on Ubuntu 22 and PHP 7.4, right? So this step will be checkout, right? It's gonna use checkout action. Then we want another step, which will be name setup. This will use v2 of checkout. And we want to do with PHP version. We want 7.4 and extensions. Okay, the PHP Storm is just trying to be too smart here. We definitely need SQLite and probably multi-byte strings. Probably. I mean, that's probably enough. Then the next step will be composer. How do we... yeah, we should have, so there should be a composer here already, right? So we don't have to install it. So let's just run, just like here, run composer install. We could add no devs, no interactions, no interaction. What was it? No, or was it no user input? You know what? Let's just do composer install. This will create a local file, the app config local. So we need to remove it. So let's do this. Name run tests. We'll do run. Oops, no, not like that. Like this. So remove config app local.php, because that will be created with composer install. And vendor bin PHP unit. So this will run our tests. Coding standards. I'm gonna leave it here for now, because it should. Yeah, I do want the coding standards, but I prefer PSR 12 rather than the cake PHP stuff. But yeah. So this will work only on pull requests created to master. And this is what we want for now. Now, is this gonna work? No, it's not gonna work yet, because I'm pushing everything to master at the moment, right? And the reason for that is because, you know, we're not quite open source just yet. So I'm still working on the base solution. And since I'm the only one working on it so far, and there's no need for pull requests, right? So let's add added missing tests and pipeline. There you go. And we can push that. And nothing's gonna happen on GitHub side yet, because, well, now nothing's gonna happen, because before it was reacting to more stuff. And actually, since we're here, so this marks the stale branches. Stale actually pull requests and issues. Right. Yeah, I'm gonna leave this here. All right, we're not gonna need it for a long time, I think. Well, at least 120 days. It will not be needed for 120 days, or it's stale because it has been opened 30 days ago with no activity. So yeah, before close is 15 days. Yeah, so at least for 2 weeks we're not gonna need this. For 2 weeks after we go open source, but this should show up nicely. And a coding standard, this actually, how do you do that? Let me check the documentation. Needs. So let's mark this as needs, and we call this one test suite, right? Yeah. So we're gonna mark it that it needs test suite to run, which means if your unit tests fail, or perhaps you didn't provide any unit tests but you broke something and the unit tests are failing now, we're not gonna run coding standards, because it doesn't matter. If it doesn't work, it doesn't matter if your coding standards are good or not, right? And let's also update to CI. Yeah. And let's push it, and this will do for now. So let's go to our to-do. So we added missing tests. And for the next session, we need to get all this done. And which means we're gonna have to also add some tests. But maybe this time let's write tests alongside of the production code, because it's just good practice. But that'll do for now. We are pretty far into the process. We are getting extremely close to the system being functional. We will have to make some updates to the payment system, because right now it relies on Hesk tickets. But using that opportunity, I will likely rebuild some of the payment system. Although I do believe that we have an ability, payment service, I think we do have the ability to determine whether it's a ticket created in the old system or in the new system. I remember we did have, let's go to payment controller. And this is webhook. Oh, because from payment service, yeah, we get outstanding. Oh no, because yeah, that's fine. This is fine. Right, yeah, here. So is BHR ticket. Yeah, so this should work with new system as well. It's just not gonna redirect you to the right ticket, I guess. Here we have process checkout with multi-line checkout. That's something that I started working on, but it's not really needed. Payment system works perfectly fine. So we're probably not gonna need that, and it'll still be a while before I need to worry about the payment system, or at least updating payment system. So we're getting pretty close to be able to handle our first customer using the new system, new submit ticket page. Very exciting, but we're gonna have to wait for that until the next session, which is tomorrow. Thank you guys very much for watching, and I shall see you in the next one.